The silence beneath Blackfriars. The fog arrived before the body did. It rolled along the Thames in heavy, breath-like waves, swallowing the lamps one by one until Blackfriars Bridge seemed to float unanchored above the river. Constable Edwin Hale stood near the embankment rail, collar turned up, watching the water with the unease of a man who knew London too well to trust its quiet. They had found her just before dawn. A woman, seated upright on the lowest step leading down to the river, hands folded neatly in her lap. No blood, no sign of struggle. Her boots were polished, her coat buttoned, her face calm, as though she were waiting for someone who had arrived late. Or not at all. Inspector Thomas Wickham approached, boots crunching softly on gravel. Wickham was known at Scotland Yard for two things: his dislike of unnecessary conversation and his peculiar talent for listening to what others missed. "She wasn't placed here," Wickham said at last. "She walked here." Hale frowned. "No footprints." "Exactly." The woman's name, they soon learned, was Eleanor Price, a typist by trade, unmarried, lived alone in a narrow lodging house near Fleet Street. No enemies, no debts, no visible reason to die on the river's edge before sunrise. Except for the note. It was folded once and tucked into her coat pocket. "I have found the silence." Wickham visited Eleanor's room that afternoon. It was spare but orderly. A narrow bed, a desk, a small mirror with a crack like a lightning bolt through the glass. On the desk lay neatly stacked papers, typing work completed, paid for and filed away. But one drawer remained locked. The landlady claimed Eleanor never locked anything. The key was found later, not in the room, but beneath the third step of the Blackfriars stairway, placed there deliberately. Inside the drawer were pages of handwritten notes, dates, times, locations, always the same location: Blackfriars Bridge. Over the course of 6 months, Eleanor had written of sounds that did not belong to the city. A pause in the noise, a moment when London breathes out, a silence beneath the river. She described standing on the bridge at dawn, listening, not to what was present, but to what vanished. "The city stops," one entry read. "Only for a moment. If you are still enough, you can hear it." "Hear what?" Wickham returned to Blackfriars the following morning, before first light. He stood where Eleanor had stood. The fog pressed close. The river slid dark and slow below. Carriages were absent. The city held in that narrow hour between night and morning. Then it happened. The sound faded. Not gradually, instantly. No water, no distant wheels, no wind. London, silent. Wickham felt it like pressure behind the eyes. And beneath that silence, something else. A second stillness. Deeper, waiting. The sound returned in a rush, and Wickham staggered back from the rail, heart hammering. He did not write reports that day. Instead, he searched. 3 names emerged from old records, 3 deaths across 20 years, all ruled natural, all found near the river, all with the same expression on their faces: peace. Each had visited Blackfriars regularly. Each had left behind fragments, notes, sketches, half-written letters, describing moments when the city fell quiet. One man, a clockmaker, had written, "There is a place beneath the noise. If you stay long enough, it notices you." Wickham returned to Eleanor's final notebook. Her last entry was dated the morning of her death. "I'm no longer afraid. It has been patient. I will be too." He went back once more. This time he descended the steps. The fog was thicker below the bridge, clinging to the stone walls, muffling the world above. Wickham sat where Eleanor had sat, and waited. The silence came. The deeper one followed. He felt it then, not a presence, but an absence, shaped like a doorway, a hollow beneath the river, beneath the city, beneath time itself, a place where sound ended, where exhaustion ended, where London's endless hunger could not follow. Wickham understood. The city took everything: breath, bone, Years. But it had cracks, places where the weight lifted, places where people could lay themselves down and finally be quiet. He rose unsteadily and climbed the steps before the sound returned, before the choice settled into his bones. Eleanor Price's death remained officially unexplained. No further bodies were found at Blackfriars. But Wickham began noticing changes. Reports of missing time, of commuters pausing mid-step, certain they had heard nothing, absolutely nothing, for just a heartbeat too long. And sometimes, when the fog rolled in heavy and low, Wickham would stand on the bridge and watch strangers lean against the rail, listening with expressions he now recognized. Longing. The city never stopped. But it listened, and beneath Blackfriars, the silence waited.